we have at our disposal all of these great leaders. They want to be there. They tell you in their interview, oh yeah, I want to be there because I care about kids, because I have a little brother, because I want to make sure it's a great time, because I want to be outside, and whatever all else. It's the opportunities that you empower your staff to create. We have an advanced cooking class, and we have a relationship with a community farm, and for half of the day in the morning time when it's nice and cool out still, the advanced cooking class piles in a van and they go down to the community farm and they weed and they pick and they learn about the plants. And then they take back their herbs and spices and green beans and tomatoes, they take it back to the kitchen and they cook with it. All because their counselor is willing to get down on her hands and knees and get dirt under her fingernails and be out there sweating next to them. Is that a good time? I'm not sure that I could go stand in the middle of a field for 2 hours and make hoeing lines and pulling weeds enjoyable. I would certainly give it my best shot, but thankfully I've hired the right staff that have that passion that can go make that a good time. This camper here in the top left, it's that kid that, like, he is so cute and he is so energetic and he always has a smile on his face, but at least once a day you have to turn to him and give him the fuzzy eyeball because he just can't control himself anymore. That counselor next to him, Jamie, was so patient with him that by the end of the summer, his mom called me up after the first week of kindergarten and said, I cannot believe it. I was so afraid to send my son to school. I thought for sure he'd be expelled from kindergarten after the first week, and he is the best behaved camper. He is the best behaved student in that class. Thank you. You did that to my son. You helped to give my son direction. You helped to give my 5-year-old son an opportunity to be great, to be awesome. One of the things that fulfills me quite a bit is when I walk down into one of the units or I walk to a program area and there's a picnic table full of campers and staff. I have no idea what they're talking about. Sometimes I try to find out, sometimes it leads to more hairy eyeballs. But they're laughing, they're having fun. Those campers can't wait to get their blue shirt. So it's all about creating opportunities. It's all about making sure that you have good staff in place. It's about making sure that you think, okay, we're a day camp. We are a camp. What can we do this summer to make sure that every camper makes a friend? Every camper has an opportunity to connect with a counselor. Every camper has an opportunity to make themselves better. And then you have to look out for your staff, because your staff are the ones who are going to go to college and tell their friends all about it, and their friends are going to want to come back and be a part of the magic that we create. If you don't know Howard Longino, he's I think he's going to be here later. He's with the Redwoods group. He and his wife worked at Camp Forever, and he was a director for a while. And I love his story that he has 2 daughters, and he tells this story that the first time he took his oldest daughter to camp, she was like 5, and it was a family camp experience, and he was really reinvigorated at the magic of camp. That as staff members, as directors, we're the ones that are in charge of creating the smoke. We're the ones that are in charge of creating the magic. We're the ones that train the staff. We're the ones that are at Walmart until 12:15 every night buying supplies. We're the ones that are in charge of making it all happen. This summer, don't sit at your desk. This summer, don't forget to go outside and look around. And try and put yourself in that place of that 9, 10, 11-year-old, 4, 5, 6-year-old and say, is this awesome or what? Look at these opportunities that I'm helping to create. Because oftentimes, you know, we're getting those negative phone calls. We're having to call parents back saying, look, you know, Jimmy just got his 3rd strike. You have to come pick him up. I'm sorry. And having that opportunity to go outside and re-energize ourselves and making sure that that magic is being created that we're selling. You know, nothing's worse than, you know, when you buy a product and it doesn't live up to its expectations. These parents are paying a lot of money to buy our product. Parents pay a lot of money to send their kids to our day camp. The best thing we can do is to create leaders out of their kids and to turn it from, okay, I need a daycare option for my kids, so I guess I'll send them to camp, to the kid being like, Mom, you have got to send me back to Camp Lincoln. You have got to send me back to camp because that's awesome and there's nothing else I'd rather be doing right now. No, we can't take a family vacation. I have to be at camp. I had a mother stop by the other day that it was actually Jordan, the kid with a spirit paddle. He had been accepted to a lacrosse camp this summer. And he chose to do CITs over going to lacrosse camp. Because camp means more to him than being able to go to this lacrosse camp. Because he's like, Mom, I can go to some extra practices. I know the captain of the team. He and I can go play. I can't do my junior CIT year ever again. Like, I have one opportunity here, and if I don't do junior CITs, I can't be a senior CIT. Not completely true, but I let him believe that. So that's what we want. We want campers, we want staff to believe in what we do so much that they want to show a camper how to perfectly roast a marshmallow. How do you build a fire when it's 95 degrees, you have cyanobacteria in your lake, and it's the 3rd day in a row you can't go in the waterfront, and it's hot and it's humid and it's miserable out, and you're having land boat races? The best thing you can do is to have a staff like Brian Andrzejewski get right down with his big huge grin and push that boat with everybody else. The booty bump. I love that shot in the top left there. That staff member, she's like 6'12", and she can dunk like nobody's business. And when you first meet her, like I remember for her interview, she came in and I was like, hello, I am a midget. And after about 5 minutes, she has the most genuine personality. She is the softest, kindest person, and staff and campers just gravitate to her. All campers, whether they're good on the basketball course or they just want to be at arts and crafts, they can go up to Cassandra and they have an instant connection with her because she's not afraid to squat down. Because when she looks at a camper, she makes eye contact. Because when she's interacting with her staff members and other campers are looking at that, she treats everybody the right way. Keeping the core values in mind, respecting everybody's decisions, and helping to include everybody. She's the first one to spot that camper sitting by himself and including them in what everybody else is doing. So you have to make it happen. Whether you're in a position to make decisions or maybe you're just, we have to have some change in our program in order to make it awesome. I recognize there are things we can do. There are sharks in our waters that we have to punch in the face in order to move on and to be a better place. Thanks, Scott. Then, I'm going to use that, by the way. I hope you guys got a lot out of that last night. Scott is very energizing. We need to make sure that when we go back, we're looking for opportunities for our campers and staff to connect. That we're looking for those opportunities for people to step up and take leadership. We were talking about leadership development yesterday and how, when you have some 16, 17, 18-year-old staff members who you want to keep around for a while, giving them opportunities to have leadership. whether it's, you know, making just check-in phone calls with parents, or maybe it's, you know, they're in charge of pulling down the t-shirts for Thursday, or they're the ones handing out, you know, surveys at family night. Whenever we can provide opportunities for people to take initiative, whenever we can provide a camper with an opportunity to feel like they belong at Camp Lincoln, we're doing ourselves a favor, because it's going to make your hiring process so much easier in the next couple years, because you've already trained them. You've already laid out what your expectations are. I hope that this presentation has lived up to its description. I know that you know, having a deep-seated resident camp history, that I often struggle with day camp, and knowing that when the campers go home, if there's been a problem, you're going to hear about it like as soon as they get in the car, and mom's going to call you. It's not like resident camp where, you know, you have 10 days to teach them how to get over that. There's much more of an instant gratification with day camp. But then how do we work with mom? How do we work with dad to reinforce what we're doing and to explain in a polite, proper, you know, mission-focused way that, you know, okay, I'm sorry Johnny didn't have an opportunity to sign up for archery this week. Tomorrow, after lunch, they're going to have an opportunity to change their program areas. If Johnny doesn't have an opportunity to do archery after lunch during his free time, then I want you to talk to Johnny and tell him to come up to the office to see me, and we'll take a look at his schedule. But can you help me, and maybe, you know, next week Johnny can sign up for archery. All of a sudden the mom is like, well, yeah, that seems fair. Absolutely. We're helping families. We're helping to create the leaders in our communities that go into the schools. We had we operate a dozen before and after school programs in our community, and a lot of our summer staff are also the staff for the outdoor, or excuse me, for the Schools Out program. And we started a CIT program for our after school program because we had 14 and 15-year-old participants of our Schools Out program who would also come to camp, who had been CITs at camp, that still wanted to be a part of the Schools Out program. And they were too old. They were too old to participate, and they were too young to be hired. So we sat down and we're like, well, let's create a CIT program for them so they can be a part of that. Well, do you know what that does to the other staff that we've hired to do their job? It forces them to step up, because all of a sudden they're not just dealing with, you know, first, second, and third graders. They're also dealing with 14 and 15-year-olds that are just absorbing everything they do and they say. Our CIT programs, our leadership development programs, I hope I beat this into the ground and grind it into you. We have to pay attention to our leadership development. And we have to make sure that if we want a great camp, the best thing we can do is to create leaders. And that's you know, I think about great resident camps, and I think about great camping programs. You know, whether it's, you know, Sloper and Ingersoll, you know, two big, huge day camps. Their leadership development programs are awesome. And I think about other programs that, you know, they're just, you know, sort of limping by, and they're, you know, not doing so well, and they're not living up to that camp expectation. It's the lack of leadership development. And we all play a part in that, and it's all up to us to empower our staff, to empower our campers, that the best thing you can do is be a CIT. And the best thing you can do is then take that, and how do you transfer that into real life? It's all what camp's about. Treating each other fairly and exploring your inner cool. And thank you very much.